probably should have already had those clipped on, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Hey, and we're live. This is Jonathan Harmon with the J. Harmon Home Team, powered by Keller Williams, with my new friend Megan Hutchings.
Yes.
And newer friend, I guess you could say, Jacob Hafner. So Jacob is helping us out on the team a little bit, learning a little bit about real estate, and what is it? A lot about living and a little about real estate. Maybe? How about that? Yeah, something like that. And Megan's here with the Rutherford County Area Habitat for Humanity.
Yes, sir.
And we've got some fun stuff coming up, and we're going to spend some time in this coffee talk talking about habitat, of course, and you and why you're awesome. And then we'll spend a lot of time talking about what we got going on Saturday, because I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I'm taking home the golden ladle.
Okay.
I'm calling it. Look, this is Babe Ruth, right? I'm pointing. I'm calling it.
Okay.
Okay. So one way or the other, I'm involved in two teams.
You're gonna take it.
The
home.
golden ladle will be in my hands. All right. So okay. So let's talk first about you and your involvement with Habitat. What it is that you do, how you got here.
So I'm the volunteer coordinator, and I've been here for almost 14 years.
Wow.
I started in July of 2006. I went to MTSU. And,
Go Blue. Were you at homecoming?
I was not. But AOPI won. Whoop, whoop. Go AOPI.
Well, more importantly, MTSU won.
Yes,
I mean, come on,
yes.
50-17. That was a big one. So.
But I am a product MTSU graduate, and majored in child development and family studies, and then found this job shortly after graduation, and I've been here ever since.
Cool. So what's a volunteer coordinator do exactly? I can guess, but fill me in.
So I am responsible for coordinating all the volunteers for the home builds and in the restore, for the special events, really anything that calls for volunteers. I have to recruit them and coordinate and retain them.
How does one recruit volunteers for Habitat?
Several ways. A lot of cold calls and cold emails, much like real estate. And going to volunteer fairs, posting it on Facebook, sending out emails through our newsletter. But a lot of it is because I've been here so long, I've established good relationships with groups. And so I can reach out to certain people that I know when they like to volunteer, when they're typically available.
Kind of got a rhythm to it at this point, right? Now, you guys have a really great facility we're sitting in right now. This is over on Mercury, and you've got a restore attached, and it's big. I mean, it's a big, big space. So those of you that are doing any home improvement projects, I don't live real far from here, so I always like to come over here and check first, right? And every now and then I'll hit something, I'm like, jackpot. That's exactly what I was looking for, and it's cheap, right?
Yes.
Sometimes I strike out, right? But that's okay. But it's always worth looking. And what's cool about it is all the stuff that's in there is donated, correct?
Well, some of it is actually brand new.
Right.
We do have some new things, new products, like some of our lighting is brand new, our rugs.
But did y'all purchase it?
We do. We purchase it at a discounted rate, and then we can sell it.
Gotcha.
But a lot of the items in there are donated, and a lot of them are donated from contractors or people that flip homes, or real estate agents, or people just cleaning out their home. And then we sell it here, and it helps support the Habitat mission. So
the other lesson here is, if you buy a place from the J. Harmon Home Team, of course, and you decide that you don't like that vanity that's in there, or countertops, or whatever,
doors,
windows, the sofa, whatever. This is a great place to bring it, and the money goes straight back into the mission, which we're going to talk about here in a minute. Into Habitat's mission, right?
And the cool thing is, if you have things at your home that you can't get here, if you call us, then we can also come pick them up.
By volunteer that you've coordinated?
No, our staff.
Oh, well, okay. I was going to say, that's awesome.
No, our staff, the resource staff is phenomenal, and they do a great job, and they have certain days of the week that are just for pickups of, because not everybody has the vehicle to drop off large things.
Sure.
So we are equipped to do that, and Josh and his staff will set you up, come pick up your donation.
Right on. Do you make those rounds more quickly than the Murfreesboro leaf pickup people?
Yes, I don't know.
I
don't want to throw anybody under the bus.
Oh, I will. I don't mind. I put leaves out on my curb last year, and man, it was like a month and a half. Everything was dead under it. It was awful. But anyway,
twice a week we do pickups.
There you go. Shout out to the leaf pickup people.
That's right.
You guys have a impossible job come fall time.
True.
Anyway, I'm just giving you crap. But okay. And then, of course, the other part of the building is your office space and I guess classroom space, right?
Yeah, we do. This room that we're in right now, we use for our staff meetings, but also for just any kind of meeting. And then our homeowner education classes are in here.
Cool. And we're going to get to that here in a second because that is such a cool thing that you guys do. And then in the back, you've got like warehouse space. So like the panels and things like that can be stored on trucks back here, correct?
Well, back in the very back is our warehouse. So all of our construction stuff, tools, it is quite full of lots of useful things.
It is amazing is
is.
what it is. I got to tour it a few weeks ago and I was like, oh my word, this place is spectacular.
It's very special, and then obviously our office staff is also on this side of the building. So it's wonderful because a lot of Habitat affiliates don't have their Restore in the same building as their office staff, but we are all together, and I think that makes us really unique.
I love it. It's a great facility, great setup, great location, easy to get in and out, easy to get to, easy to find. So, all right, so let's talk cook and build.
Sure.
Let's jump there for a second. And then we're going to talk about what Habitat really does, because I think that the cook and the build is a great segue to show community involvement and what Habitat really is about. You know what I mean? So we got a fundraiser coming up.
Yes, sir.
Huge fundraiser.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it's going to be Saturday.
Yes.
And we can start eating at what time?
So the gates will open at 10:30 for anyone that has pre-painted a bowl or anyone that has pre-purchased a ticket. And tickets are still available.
And they're cheap.
They're $20.
I mean, come on.
$20, and you get a bowl that you get to take home with you. And then
not a foam bowl.
No, like a painted bowl, like a pottery bowl. And then if you haven't pre-purchased your ticket or pre-painted your bowl, the gates will open at 11 for everyone else. But it's a little chaotic there at the beginning because everyone is anxious to see the bowl they've painted, or they're anxious to pick out a bowl. So it's a little.
Who painted the extra bowls?
So Teresa Johnson and her staff at the Pottery Place do a phenomenal job of utilizing their artists there in the studio to paint the other bowls.
Right on. You didn't paint any?
My kids paint the bowls. I probably have enough bowls to last me a lifetime.
14 years you've been,
Yeah. So we have quite a cabinet full of bowls. But 10:30 if you've pre-painted or pre-purchased, 11 for everyone else.
All right, so let's talk about what it actually is. So we're going to be on the square.
Yes.
How many teams?
We have 41.
Holy moly!
Cooking teams.
You're not phasing me. I'm still bringing home the ladle.
Okay.
So it is essentially a soup making contest, right?
Chili, soup, or stew.
Right.
So and you get the bowl, and then you go around to all the different cooking teams. If you can handle 41 cooking teams,
I can handle it.
Go around and try all the different dishes, and we do have drinks, desserts, and live music provided by Murfreesboro City Schools. And then you have you vote at the end for your favorite. And
the winner takes home.
It's actually a golden bowl.
I thought it was a ladle.
It's a bowl. It's a golden bowl award.
That's fine. I'm still taking home the golden bowl.
And you will see that the people that have won in the past will display their golden bowl at their tent.
As well they should.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that, because there's a little bit of perhaps controversy about the last couple winners. We could almost say that there's a dynasty, and with my buddy over here with the Patriots shirt, you know, the whole Deflategate thing. Like I start questioning stuff, because who's been the winner the last? Is it 3 years in a row?
Yes, it's the last 3 years. Webb Hutchings with Oakland Middle School.
Oh, wait a minute. What was the last name?
Hutchings.
What's your last name?
It's Hutchings.
Oh, is there any relation?
Yeah, he's my husband.
Yes. The truth comes out. See, I had to pry that out of you.
Yeah, no, I keep the votes every year, and I tell people if you want to count them and tally them, you are more than welcome.
So what has he made for the last 3 years? Has it been different things each time?
No, excuse me. He made taco soup he won the very first year, made taco soup, and then didn't win again. And so then he changed and he makes tomato basil soup.
So people like plain stuff is what you're saying.
See,
I'm gonna start talking trash now.
Okay. He's ready for it. He's like, bring it on.
Does he serve it grilled cheese with it?
He does.
Yeah, of course he does. I've always heard that the accessory is the key.
Yes. So, but yeah, I told him, I said, I have a good feeling you're not going to win this year. And he's like, okay, I'm cool. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, if he wins again, I will personally get back on here and eat some crow, so it'll be okay. But no, I'm involved in a few of them, and we're all conspiring. So
okay.
And as long as we beat Murfreesboro Rotary Club,
that's what I've heard. That's your main goal.
That's my
life,
main goal.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. Shout out to Brett Garner. But anyway, so no, it's going to be a lot of fun. And so let's talk through this. So teams enter the contest. You sell tickets for $20 a piece for people to come out. They get a bowl, they get soup, they have a good time.
Yes.
It's on the square. The weather's going to be great.
God willing. Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I know it is because it's a great mission. And that money flows right back into the coffers of Habitat for Humanity.
Yes.
And it stays here in the
Rutherford
community.
County. Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. So and this is what I really wanted to get to. Okay, by the way, 10:30 till
1:30.
1:30 on the square. You don't have anything better to do, I promise, okay? So get out here. You can watch whatever football game on your phone. It'll be great.
And MTSU is not at home this weekend.
That's right. Most important.
Yes.
Right?
That's always the big question.
That's right. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So definitely come out and support. But let's talk about what Habitat does, because I think that there's some misconception about who gets Habitat houses, how they get them, and people in their ignorance, and that's not a dirty word, by the way, but just in not knowing exactly what the deal is, some people have a kind of a negative opinion about that.
Sure.
And they're just plain wrong. I mean, I don't know how else to say that. And I think that if we can educate folks on what is your mission and what it is to be committed to purchasing, and that is the right word, a Habitat home, then I think people, you have to get behind it. I mean, unless you just have no heart, right? Like you're the Grinch and the heart's
I
just.
don't say that.
Oh, I will, because I don't mind, because that is the truth. And unless that's the case, then how can you not get behind the mission, right?
So a lot of people do think that we give the homes away, which is completely false. When somebody comes to our office to inquire about the Habitat program, the first thing that we look at is, do they have a need? And for the longest time, a lot of the families we served were living in like dilapidated homes, right? They were renting these homes that were falling apart or were covered in mold, or we had one family that would heat their home with their stove, or had holes in their ceilings.
I mean,
or the
come
floors.
on, guys.
Right.
This is freaking.
Right. This is Murfreesboro, right?
Well, and it's, I don't know when exactly the organization started, but we're talking like 1990s, not 1890s.
Right. Our affiliate started in 1989, and we built our first home in 91.
We should be way past that.
Yes. So for the longest time, it was that dilapidated, just run-down home. But probably in the last, I would say, 10 years, a lot of the families we serve are in a financial burden. So they're paying more than 60% of their household income just on rent alone. So that doesn't.
And I bet that just keeps getting worse.
It does. It does.
Sure.
And that doesn't include utilities or gas or groceries or, hey, my kid needs X, Y, Z for school.
A pair of shoes.
A
coat.
My kid wants to play a sport, or my kid wants
God
to be
forbid,
in a
right?
And so it's really expensive to raise littles and to even be an adult these days. So a lot of our families are now in that financial burden. They are working, they just don't make enough to qualify for a conventional mortgage. Once we establish that they have a need, the next thing is they have to partner with us. And a lot of people don't realize this. A lot of our families, or all of our families, are required to do sweat equity hours.
Lots of them.
Lots of them. So anywhere from 250 to 400 hours. And that's a pretty broad range, but we have to look at each individual family and are they an elderly person? Do they have a disability? Is it a husband and wife? Is it a single parent? Do they have kids that can come out on the job site? So we have to look at each family and really say this is what they realistically can accomplish.
So you want them to put as much as they're realistically able to put in.
Yeah.
Is that kind of the goal?
And they have to complete those hours before they're allowed to move into their home. So even if their home is complete and we've dedicated it, those hours still have to be
Does it
done.
count if they work on their own home?
So that's whenever it comes time for sweat equity, we give them lots of opportunities. They're required to attend 30 weeks of homeowner education classes.
I'm sorry, did you say 30 weeks?
30 weeks. Regina,
that's more than half a year, by the way.
Yeah.
You're not doing the math
yeah.
real well.
And they get 50 hours from that. We require that they work sweat equity on other future homeowners' homes. They are definitely required to be out on their home as much as possible. And then if their kids make good grades, they get sweat equity for that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because some of the kids are not old enough to be on
Sure.
the job site, so it helps them to also be able to assist their family. And then we ask them to volunteer at other nonprofits in the community. So we really want them to pay it forward and partner with the community that's helping them. And I will say that every family that I've worked with blows it out of the water. Like they always get more than what they're required to get.
I've worked on a number of Habitat homes myself, some in Nashville, some here, and almost always I end up working alongside the future homeowner for that home.
Right.
And it's so cool because I don't know that I've ever worked alongside one that has home building construction experience, right?
Yeah.
And so what I love about that is that they're learning about the building process. They're learning about what really goes into a home because a lot of people don't know. I mean, they have no idea, right? And so it is my opinion that makes them value that home more.
True.
Right? And certainly understand it better.
Yes.
Right? So if something were to go wrong, they could say, well, I know what it looks like inside this wall because I built this wall.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's just that piece of it is awesome to me.
Well, and something else that a lot of people don't know is that when somebody is up for their home build, we say, okay, here is a list of home plans or house plans that will fit on your lot, and you can choose from XYZ, and then they get to choose their siding, the brick, the flooring, the cabinets.
It's their home.
It's their home, and so we have certain guidelines that we have to stay in under Habitat International, but every home is custom, not custom, but they get to choose the things that we say, okay, here are your choices, and so they don't all look the same, that they're beautiful homes and they're energy efficient.
I was going to say they're extremely well built.
Yes.
I have caulked so freaking much on Habitat homes. It's not even funny.
But it goes back to we want them to be successful homeowners, and our construction manager and the team, they're really they want to make them as tight and as green as possible so that their bills are more affordable, so they have more expendable income.
Yeah.
And so it's just, and the last thing is our families pay a mortgage.
That's what I was going to get to. So tell me about that, because it's a little bit unusual, but it's at the same time it's very easy to understand. It's not anything crazy.
So there is no interest on their mortgage, and we include their homeowner's insurance into their mortgage cost, and they are paying. It's very affordable. It's not gonna gouge them by any means, but they do pay a monthly mortgage just like you and I do. And a lot of people don't. they don't understand that funding-wise, they're like, well, that money goes back to the Habitat mission. Well, yeah, but that's over like 20, 25 years. It's not like we're getting that money back tomorrow.
Right.
And so that's why, there's so many different parts here. We need funding to support the mission. We need volunteers to support the mission. We need people to understand what we do.
You need material. You need,
right.
I mean, there's so much.
Yes.
Now, what if they sell the house?
So, if somebody were to come to us and say, hey, I'm interested in selling the home, Habitat has the first right of refusal. And so we do that because we want our donors and our sponsors to understand that we are protecting the money that they're pouring into our mission, and that people are not just entering the program and then flipping the homes to make a profit.
Sure.
We've had some of our families pay off their mortgage, and so once they do that, that's their home, right? So they can do what they like. But
if they have a job transfer or something like that, they have a need to move.
They just come to us. Terry Schultz, our executive director, we'll sit down with them, and every family is different. And so she looks at every family and talks through it with them. But we do have first right of refusal, which makes it very nice.
So if you guys were to buy one back, what would Habitat do with that existing home?
So sometimes we will rehab it, and then we will have somebody in the program that will be able to utilize it. And then like we did a rehab, we had a lady that moved recently, and so that Habitat home was one in our inventory again, and so we did a rehab on it, and we were able to help a gentleman who was in the Habitat program get into a home sooner. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. So if somebody were to want to volunteer, right, there's always an opportunity, right? And I'm assuming they would just contact you.
Yep, contact me. They can call me or email me or stop by and see me, and I will try my very best to plug them in. You do not have to have any skill.
Or tools.
If you do, that is a blessing and a bonus, but it's definitely not a requirement to come volunteer with us. The construction team and our group of regulars
they're phenomenal, aren't they?
Fantastic job.
And I'm going to put Megan's contact info in the comments here when we get done. And then let's talk about, let's say that I have an organization, right, that I'm in charge of, and I have a good friend that has an organization on Nissan's campus. They do some part supplying. And he was telling me that they're looking for some opportunities for the whole organization to volunteer. So an organization can sponsor a build, right? They can half sponsor a build. Am I making that up, or is that true?
Well, if somebody is interested in partnering with us, generally the first person I send them to is Melissa Cross. She is our director of development, and she sits down and talks with that group or the company to see what they want to do, what they're able to do. And
right, we've got X number of dollars. How does that fit?
Yep, and so she does that, and then from there, I generally communicate with them about their volunteer aspect.
I'm going to say, but you can certainly put 10 people to work in a day's time or whatever, right?
Yes, and a lot of people, less is more sometimes. So like if you're like, well, I have 20 people, ideally we would try to split that up into 2 days or 2 shifts, because you want to have enough work to do where everybody is having a good.
From a supervision standpoint, those awesome regulars and site supervisors, when you've got 20 people standing there with hard hats on asking what to do, it's impossible to really manage quality, isn't it?
That's true, very true, yes. So I do want to say that we are currently building homes number 163 and 164 here in Rutherford County.
Awesome, high five.
So exciting. But I say that also because there is a need.
Yeah.
And the need continues to grow. We had in May, or in April when we had our application process open, we had 100 plus people turn in applications.
Wow.
Now, not everybody obviously meets the requirements, but that's how many people are coming to pick up information and apply for the program. So
wow,
there is definitely a need here.
That's awesome. Well, I think that when you look at nonprofits, there's a lot of them that focus on very specific needs, right? You had mentioned about if a kid wanted to play sports, right? So I look at Endure Athletics, Joel Bigelow's group. I don't know if you know them or not. Amazing organization, and they focus on kids having those same experiences as other kids, right? So whether it's sports, going to a concert, whatever, having a place to hang out after school, those kinds of things. Amazing group, right? Very specific mission, okay? Habitat's mission is very specific, home, but it is extremely far-reaching because that's not just a structure, it's not just a house, right? It's not, I mean, the whole process of getting to the point of home ownership, before we got on camera, I kind of made the point that as far as the work involved for a single task of home ownership, that a Habitat for Humanity homeowner, sorry, I had to think about that for a second, puts in, I mean, it's unbelievable.
It is.
It is way more work, quite honestly, than I put in.
Well, and we always say, like, the home is just the beginning. It's everything that happens after that. And
I mean, home is security, it's memories, it's stability, legacy, it's, I mean, good gracious, we can go on and on.
And Linda Gilbert with Murfreesboro City Schools, she spoke at one of our Leave a Legacy breakfasts a few years ago, and she was like you want to support education, well, that starts at home. You want to support XYZ, well, that starts at home. You want to support health, well, that starts at home. And so she's like, that is the beginning of everything else falling into place.
That's right.
Is that when they can have a haven that is secure and safe and stable, everything else starts to fall into place too.
Well, and we'll get a little philosophical for a minute, but we're so quick in our culture to point a finger at someone, right? Well, this kid's bad because mom or dad or whatever, unstable home life and all this other stuff. Well, let's think through this, right? If mom, dad, whoever is working 15 hours a day, 16 hours a day, and they're still struggling and worried about whether or not they're going to make rent or keep the lights on or whatever, if that's going on, how could we possibly, expect that is a nurturing, hands-on, loving environment?
Sure.
I mean, I'm sure it's love.
Yeah.
But how can we expect it to be hands-on and nurturing?
It's very different, and so many of our families, when they get in their home and to see what happens, what they want to do, what they aspire for, and what their kids are doing, that's the joy. And
now they can, because if nothing else, they can breathe.
Yeah.
And
I think it's important that people understand that people want to go to other countries and do mission work, and if that's your heart's desire, then do it.
Sure.
But Habitat gives you an opportunity to think globally, to know that this is a mission that's happening across the world, but to serve your local people, like your neighbors in your own backyard.
And not just in your backyard, the people that you literally bump into at Walmart or whatever, right? I mean, this is your people.
Yes, and
you're going to eat soup with them on the square on
right,
Saturday.
That's
Come
right.
on.
and we have built for people that work for the government, people that are in medical, teachers. These are like the people in the community, and so we're always like, I always say, we're always like a paycheck or a crisis away from needing help.
That's exactly right.
And so to know that if you can go out and serve people, and then to know that those people are there to serve you as well, I mean, that's a blessing.
I agree. Well, kudos to you. Kudos to Habitat here in Murfreesboro, Rutherford County. And hey, if you're not eating soup on Saturday,
you're missing out.
You are missing out.
That's right.
So, and watching me get the golden bowl. More importantly,
oh my goodness.
If I win, I'm gonna wear it as a hat.
Okay.
Is that cool?
Oh yes.
Mark it.
Oh my
Mark
gosh.
it down.
Oh my goodness. I cannot wait to see who wins this event, because there's a lot of trash talking going on.
That's right.
Yes, but I do want to say that our team here at Habitat, Rutherford County area, what makes us really special is that we've all been here for a really long time, and a lot of time in nonprofits there is a turnover, but our team we have all been here for a hot minute, and so
14 years is a long time to be anywhere.
Well, I mean, that's just me.
Yeah, I know.
Most people, except for one or two, have been here for 10 plus years, and so everybody believes in the mission. We have a great leader in Terry, and we just really love what we do, and we love each other.
Yeah, well, that's awesome, and it shows. You
Thank
guys
you.
do a great job.
Thank you.
So, Jacob, you got anything to add?
Go Pack is what he wants to say.
I'm just ready for all the different kinds of soups that are.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, thank you so much for watching. We'll put Megan's contact info in the comments,
Sure.
And we'll go ahead and put a link to the Cooking to Build as well. Tickets are still available
Till Friday.
till
Yes.
Friday, and if they prepay for a ticket up until Friday, then they can get there at 10:30
Yep, they can get in at 10:30,
and pick their bowl.
pick their bowl, and
Okay.
then start eating all the yummy food.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of the week. This is Jonathan Harmon with the J. Harmon Home Team with Megan Hutchings of, let's just say Habitat for Humanity in Rutherford County. Is that cool? I always get the words wrong.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's like this long. And
I know.
my brain is only this big.
It's okay.
All right. You guys have a good rest of the day. Thanks.
Thank you.